Morning sunlight fell across the rice fields. Aiko ran through the rows, laughing softly. A white feather floated down from the sky and landed on her palm. It shimmered like light captured from a dream. The soft wind blew the feather. It twirled and floated just out of reach, glimmering in the morning sun. Aiko laughed and ran after it, her sandals splashing softly through the shallow rice field. It danced ahead of her, bright and playful, as if leading her towards something wonderful.
The feather came to rest beside a still river. Aiko knelt near the water's edge, her reflection rippling beside it. The air was filled with the scent of wet grass and lilies. She reached out gently, watching the feather float toward her fingers, as if carried by the breeze itself. A graceful red-crowned crane rose from the river, droplets sparkling on its wings. It looked at Aiko curiously, tilting its head as though wondering who she was. Two feathers drifted between them, soft, glowing, alive.
The crane stood tall before Aiko, its red crown glowing softly in the sunlight. Its long feathers shimmered like silver threads as the wind whispered through them. Aiko bowed politely, just as her grandmother had taught her when greeting an elder. To her surprise, the crane tilted its head, then bowed back, slow and graceful, as if it understood.
The crane stepped closer and gently brushed Aiko's cheek with its soft feather. Aiko giggled, the touch light as a whisper of wind. She smiled and said, "I will be your friend," her voice calm and kind. "I promise." The crane blinked slowly, as if it understood. Aiko's heart fluttered with joy, for she had made a new friend, a beautiful crane by the river.
The crane turned and led Aiko into the forest. They came to a small clearing where scattered twigs and straw lay on the ground. Aiko looked closely. It was a broken nest. Without a word, she began gathering twigs. The crane helped, placing each piece with great care. Together, they rebuilt the nest, one twig at a time. Dark clouds rolled in suddenly, and the wind howled through the trees. Aiko clutched her kimono as rain began to pour. The crane spread its reins wide, sheltering her beneath them. The rain softened, and light returned through the trembling leaves. Water glistened on Aiko's sleeves as the crane lowered its wings. Between the roots, a tiny turtle peeked out, trapped among the reeds. Aiko gasped and said, "Oh, you poor thing." The crane tilted its head, as if urging her to help. Aiko reached into the cool water, loosening the reeds around the turtle. The crane used its beak to nudge aside the smaller twigs. Together, they freed the tiny creature, who blinked up at them gratefully before paddling away into the stream. The crane stepped closer to Aiko and gently touched her hand with its beak. It plucked a white feather and placed it in her palm. Aiko smiled. "Thank you," she whispered. "We helped it together." By the time the clouds cleared, everything sparkled. Sunlight shone on the repaired nest, the river, and the fresh green leaves. Aiko, the crane, and the little turtle basked in the warmth, sharing a quiet moment of peace. Aiko walked home through the shining rice fields, the feather safe in her hand. The air smelled of rain and sunlight. She felt lighter, as if part of her heart still flew with the crane. At her window that night, Aiko placed the feather beside her lamp. A gentle breeze lifted it, and she heard a soft cry in the distance. It was the crane's call. She smiled and whispered, "Good night, my friends." What Aiko teaches us: true friendship is not built in a single moment. It grows through small acts of kindness, patience, and trust. When Aiko helped rebuild the nest and free the turtle, she did not ask for anything in return. She simply cared. And in caring, she found a friend who cared for her too. Remember, every small act of kindness sends ripples further than you can see. Fun facts from Aiko's adventure. The red-crowned crane is one of the rarest and most beautiful birds on Earth.
It is tall, graceful, and famous for its elegant dancing. In Japan, cranes are a symbol of peace, good luck, and long life. Rice fields, called paddies, are where much of the world's rice is grown. The fields are kept flooded with water, and when the grain turns golden, it is time to harvest. Turtles are ancient creatures that have lived on Earth for over 200 million years. Their shells protect them, and even the tiniest turtle is a brave explorer. Kindness travels far, like a feather carried by the wind. This story is part of the KKR KiDS Learning Collection, stories that nurture kindness, courage, and curiosity. Click the link in the description to get this story as an ebook, and also for many more books and ebooks from the KKR KiDS Learning Collection.